game. I thought in the first game he was just, he was still trying to sort it all out.
But I thought he had a very solid first 45 minutes. I thought that, the second half, he played the first 15, and I think it was nondescript and at best. But the first 45, I thought, he was really involved. They were looking for him, and he was finding players. And, today during the press conference, he described his style and what he's trying to do and what he likes to do. And he loves to assist. He wants other people to score goals, and he wants to be the provider.
Okay, so you're talking about the start he got against Montreal.
Yes.
Is that what you're referring to?
100%.
Yeah, he had no impact in that game.
I disagree.
No, he really had very little impact.
I'm
giving you a chance after I finish. I'm comparing it to his performance in this past game. And I would not come away for that first game against Montreal and go like, "Woof, man, nice going, David Lee. Well done." But understandably, the guy had trained twice. He landed the day before he got his first training session. He didn't have his legs. He's starting the game because Keaton Parks is out, Burke Reese is out, and there were very few options. So Pascal and the training staff and the physical performance staff said, yeah, he's good for 45 minutes. He pushed him to an hour. And there wasn't much going on, I didn't think. And partly because there wasn't much going on with the team. You can't tell me he played well or anybody else played well in that Montreal game. Sorry.
Okay, can I now say something?
No, because in this game against DC United, but listen to me.
I'm listening. You don't give me a chance to talk, so I've got to listen.
No, but I'm going to give you a chance. But looking at both games and comparing them, what I saw in this game was like, oh, my word, this guy is going to help a lot, which I think we thought. And then we also know he's got leadership skills. But his range of passing, and he even said it today, he goes, I haven't even been able to kind of, develop and show my range of passing yet. But, boy, he played some balls. He played 3 in particular across the midfield that the weight of the pass, playing the proper foot, just little things that I thought made him stand out. And you go like, wow. So he wasn't impressed with O'Neill. Well, I wasn't in the first game, but I was in the second game. You're on.
Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so I want to put things in context, right? I want to put things in context here. I thought that when I saw him play in the first game, I thought he had, beyond anybody else on the team especially, I thought he had a very solid 45 minutes, and you could see why New York City was excited to bring him in, just to the way that he could see the field and he could throw passes around and the proper weight and all these little things. A couple of them looked like good seeing eyeballs that found their target in a game where New York City didn't play well. I thought that in the second half, he, like the rest of the team, fell off even more. They allowed a goal, in the 3rd minute of the second half, and then everything just sort of collapsed. And, we knew that Montreal was better than their record, but they still should have won the game. And it was very upsetting, I guess, from a New York City FC perspective, right, to see them get outplayed at home by a team that isn't as good as them, although playing better than their record, and yet wind up losing at home. It's a terrible game for New York City. Now back to O'Neill. Okay. So I thought that within that context, especially the first half, there was a lot to be like, okay, this is good. This is a really good, solid signing. Wow. And now when we get to the DC game,
we weren't watching the same game. We weren't.
The problem that you have is that you're so far away at Yankee Stadium and behind home plate, and I'm a little bit closer to center field, the midfield, and so maybe I have a different perspective.
No, I don't think so. Hold on, I lost my photo. Oh, there we go. So I liked Pascal's reading of both the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and CF Montreal. He called the Pittsburgh Riverhounds game terrible. I just have to say, I haven't heard a New York City coach, use that word really. And then the Montreal game, very weak performance.
And he's accurate.
Yes.
He's accurate.
All right. Anyway.
And I'm happy to hear it, though. And I think the players are happy to hear it, too, because they know where they stand. I don't think there's any player that would probably go, well, I don't know, I'm not getting the right message sort of thing.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that, he's very open and very straightforward with everybody. And he has told us that before he tells us, because there's been a lot of times that he's criticized players for making bad plays during games and explained where it was. And it was on the record, but it was something that he had already done with the player himself. So he doesn't send messages per se through the media, which is you and I and, all the other guys who do the press conferences. He's already sent those messages directly to the players, but he reinforces it because he is exposing everybody as well. Sort of like, get your act together, fix these problems, and let's go forward.
Well, putting the ball in the back of the net is something that
would
I
help.
think, but the other thing about Aiden O'Neill is Pascal has said he can play any of the three midfield roles, which is true. But against Montreal, he started, and if you remember, he was in a more advanced position. He is much in a 2-game, however many minutes he's played, he's much more comfortable a little deeper in the midfield. And that's where he can face up and deliver those passes. Well, we'll see how it all goes, because I'd be shocked if he doesn't start against the Red Bulls. It's time to unleash him and see if he can play a full match or close to a full match anyway. And especially a guy who's got, he's got some physical prowess too. The one thing he's not is fast. So we'll watch out for his positioning and everything and see how that works out in the MLS midfields